What's happening, guys? I get a lot of requests for my builds and my specs that I use in my Ninj-Antics videos, and we can just chalk it up to laziness as to why I haven't done an actual video with my build and spec in it. But now that all changes forever and ever. Start off, I'll do gear. I run a slag rapier because it's a slag rapier. It is both slag and rapier, so that's good. Slag obviously makes enemies more susceptible to damage, and then you can stab them, and then they are no longer enemies. They are corpses. I run an Orfleet or some other E-Tech launcher. I sometimes use a Swapper's launcher, and that's because it gets enemies behind cover really easy. These are generally for second winding. I keep them on me because why not? This is what I call like my my secondary weapon, or the weapon that gets shot more often. I go between a few. I use an ogre because it's an ogre, even though it's nowhere near as great as the ogre in Borderlands 1. Sometimes I'll use a butcher, or I'll use a slow hand because I love slow hand. And yes, I realize this slow hand does not have a sight. But he gave it to me, and I was like, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm going to use it. So, pew pew. Let's see. And Kitten. Kitten is great, because it's a Moxie weapon, and all Moxie weapons heal you. And Kitten. And then, always I have a Ruby, because it's a crutch, and I'm terrible. Nah. You gotta have a Ruby if you're playing melee, or at least a Law and Order to play around with. It gives you quick heals. Slag rubies slag pretty dependently, so that's good. I run one of two shields usually. Love Thumper for when I'm playing solo. Don't want to use it too much unless you're playing with people who are generally pretty far away, because that Nova from the Love Thumper kills your friends, and that's not good unless they're assholes. And then it's good. So killing assholes is great. And then I have a Hide of Terramorphous, which is the highest roid damage in the game. The one that I have right here is a maximum stat quality. I switch between two comms. Well, three really. Legendary comm, it's decent for melee, and well, second best for melee burst. But it has more cooldown. It'll usually give you about an extra second to use your, well, it'll take a second off before you get to use your deception, and that's good. I also will use a Shadow Stalker because it makes you move quicker, because the +6 follow through, and your super zippy and follow through and counter strike will both up your melee damage. So it's you still overkill and one-shot enemies, even, you know, ultimate badasses in UVHM. So that's Shadow Stalker. And then the best comm for melee burst damage is your Shadow Ninja class mod, because Backstab is the most potent skill other than Killing Blow, and it's got both of them. But Backstab is it's more potent than Counter-Strike just because of where it falls in the melee damage formula. I run two different grenade mods usually. Chain Lightning from the DLC 4. The Tiny Tina DLC is awesome. Love Chain Lightning because it's throwing lightnings. And then also Stormfront. Everybody knows what a Stormfront is. Stormfront has an advantage in boss fights just because its healing over time is better when paired with a Ruby, and also it doesn't often or almost never leaves a dot on you after you use it to strip your shields, as where more often than not the Chain Lightning will leave a dot on you, and that's bad and will sometimes kill you. And then for my relic, I run a Bone of the Ancients with shock damage to benefit my grenades, and it has lots of cooldown, and the cooldown is awesome because deception is great. I don't often run Might of Seraphs because where the relics fall in the melee formula makes it pretty not that great, borderline bad. And cooldown is much better for your overall DPS. So we'll go on to spec. This is my spec. look at it and love it. Pretty standard melee fare. I don't like unforeseen because I like having full control over what's going on. I don't like just leaving the dude there. I feel like it's a waste of points. I don't think it does enough damage to be significant. I don't use Two Fang because, like I said, I like to have control over everything that's going on with my melee character. There's a lot of randomness involved in what you fire 2 shots wise, and sometimes it'll just waste ammo. So bad. And also it's a snake. And then I have Death Blossom, which is great. I'll just keep going over what I don't use. I don't use Grim because it gives you shields, and I don't know why there's a skill in the melee tree that gives you shields back. It seems silly. I don't use Like the Wind because it doesn't benefit execute. It'll switch off right when you're executing, because apparently executing is not moving. A lot of people don't really use Be Like Water. I like it. It's pretty marginal as far as a damage boost within the damage formula for melee. So that is my build and my gear that I use. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. We like that when you do that. And when I say we, I mean me.